Kids, today my video is going to be called Disaster and Drama Burnout. Um, I'm beginning to think that I'm maybe sociopathic because I really can't wrap my arms, head, heart around all these dramas and disasters that we put ourselves through on a nearly daily basis. It's become so old and routine. I think the last disaster that really kind of perked me up was 9/11, only because I was so personally affected working in the airline industry at that time. Um, and then I think the other one that kind of, the last one that I even flinched at or raised an eyebrow at was Aurora, Colorado, and the guy that went in and blew up everybody watching the movie. I thought that was kind of just strange. Um, but other than that, I really don't feel um, these things, and I really don't feel for the people, and I really don't feel anything. I feel just burned out. I feel numb. Um, it's scary at times. I think it's because it happens with such frequency that I just don't give a crap. Now, I am not a gamer. The only game I ever played um, was some create your own airline empire game on a computer when they first started inventing games. It was a long time ago. So, and I haven't played any games since then. I don't play slasher games or war games or magic games or anything else. It's just not me. I'm not from that generation. I'm a little too old for that, frankly. That came, past my time, and it's just not. It's not in my paradigm to really appreciate it. So I'm not jaded from killing people online or killing people in the game or something like that at all. And I don't watch a great deal of movies, and even less, I don't watch slasher movies. I tend to like comedies, and not particularly violent comedies. I like intelligent things. The music I listen to is not violent. So there's nothing that would make me not supposedly feel this, which I don't. I'm sorry. I mean, I know that Boston was a big tragedy, and I worried for my friend that lived up there, my ex, and I called and I got a response that they were okay and were not in that area at the time. And that was the extent of my feelings for Boston. And I know that sounds cold, but frankly, it is. It is what it is. Now, today, for example, the United States Senate spit in 90% of America's face by not passing gun reform legislation at all. Refused to even take it up and do anything about it. Well, what do you say about that? It's just drama. And then when the next gun thing's happening, everybody's going to clutch their pearls and say, oh, we've got to do something about the crazy people. We've got to do something about this, or we've got to do something about that. It's not the gun's fault. It's the crazy people's fault. And as I typed on Facebook today, I went down, my psychiatrist gave me prescriptions for two new medicines. Two medicines that I know work, because when I used to have insurance, I used to take them, and they were the last ones I took before my insurance ran out, and I could no longer afford them. But he made the prescription anyway, so I went down to my pharmacy at Walmart, which is not the most expensive pharmacy, and they priced one medicine at $343.62 for an antidepressant. I get an antidepressant now for $10 a month, $6 a month, something like that. And they want, for this one that works, $343.62 from somebody that's on disability, on a fixed income. Now, For all of you that know about disability, you don't get all that much money on disability. It's not a glamorous lifestyle. It's not something that I would choose unless I was truly disabled, because I made a hell of a lot more working. I could make more giving head in a truck stop than, this when I get on disability. So trust me, not glamorous. Then Geodon, which is an antipsychotic, and it's also an assist to the antidepressant. It's similar to Abilify. Abilify is like an antidepressant booster, but Geodon goes also an anti-schizophrenic. So it's all that in a bag of chips. It's a great pill. Trust me, you sleep like a baby when you take it at night, and you wake up refreshed in the morning, and things just feel lovely. $1,008.39. Now, that is over $1,350. Over $1,350. That's not including a cream I take for psoriasis, which is another $31 a month or more, depending on how much I have to use. And then testosterone shots, which are about $50 a month, I think, something around that nature. Then I have all the other pills I take for high blood pressure, diabetes, and those are another almost $100 a month, maybe more. So by the end, you get to about $1,700 a month just for medication. That's not including food or mortgage or electricity or a way to communicate or anything. And it's more than I make on disability. Now, as much as people like to talk about helping the mentally ill, when the rubber hits the road, it's not there. Sorry, it's not there. Now imagine having to pay $1,700 a month just in medication, and then you can't even see the doctor. That's if I took all the money I make, plus I had to go out and prostitute myself so I can make the rest just to pay for the medication. Seriously. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. So what do you do? Now we hear all this talk. Oh, we got to do something because, the mentally ill, they need more help, and we really screwed them over since the Reagan era, and da 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 da. Talk. That's all it is talk. When it comes down to really doing something or having a program that's available, I mean, what kind of pill costs $1,000? I mean, I thought about it. Even with the price of gold dropping, even if it was a solid gold pill, it would be cheaper. This must be from like some nearly extinct animal that lives like at the bottom of like the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. And you can only extract, and there's a limited quantity of these whatever creatures, and there's only one gland about the size of a speck of dust where you can extract enough medication for one pill. Then I could see these things costing like $1,000, or they had to like dive 100,000, 10,000 feet below or whatever, 2 to 3 miles down, and find some neophyte little creature that's nearly extinct and grab as many as they can to make a drug. But I don't think Geodon's made that way. I really don't. So I can't understand how they're just not raping the American public with this drug. Just raping people. And how can you afford it? Who could afford that? How many people do you know that could afford to pay cash $1,700 a month just in medications? Cash. Think about it. That is more than twice what I pay for my mortgage. I could buy 2 houses and still have money left over to eat. It's more than 2 of my mortgage payments. That's insanity. Speaking from the insane perspective, that's insanity. So that's my discussion for today. I'm sorry I can't get all revved up about these things. I can't. I feel like a sociopath. And I wonder if other people feel that way too. I know there are some that do. Um, feel like, okay, so we had another shooting. We never do anything about them. Besides, we beat our chest and we pretend to cry and we, send money or flowers or little teddy bears or something to be collected later and donated. We don't do anything as a country. We don't do anything. And then even if 90% of us agree that something needs to be done, our elected representatives don't do anything because we've allowed them as people to be put in the pockets of special interests. And they are, because that's where the money is. For example, immigration reform. They're lying about immigration reform. Marco Rubio's plan is a joke. And although I brought it up to NBC News, for example, I brought it up to, I tried to call Ezra Klein at Washington Post, etc. I can't even get Marco Rubio's staff to return a call because I have a question and they can't answer it or they don't want to. The question is very simple. Okay, Marco Rubio, Cuban, Republican, let me ask you. You want immigration reform. You say it's going to be harder for the people that stay here. It'll be better if they went home for a decade. It'll be cheaper and faster. Okay, now let me ask you this. Are you ready to change that law for law-breaking Cubans that try to come over here illegally? Because currently all they have to do is get 1 foot on dry land and automatically they're sent to Chrome Detention Center in western Miami-Dade where they're processed in approximately 17 to 72 hours. They pop out of Chrome with a green card ready to work, with cash so they can go find a place to live, with food stamps, with you name it, everything. And they also get fast-tracked for their spouses if they decide to get married. Faster processing than even American citizens trying to marry foreigners. I'm not joking. Are you going to take that away and really level the playing field, Marco Rubio? Is this really about justice, Marco Rubio? Because your family benefited from these very gifts that Cubans and only Cubans enjoy. Because Haitians get taken back even if they have 2 feet on the ground. And Mexicans get sent back even if they've been here for decades. So there is no special treatment for those folks, just Cubans. Are you going to take that away? I'm waiting for an answer, Marco Rubio, but you're too cowardice to give me an answer. And so is your staff. And so is NBC News. So is MSNBC. So is the Washington Post. All these people, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about the truth. And they don't want to talk about the absolute disgusting indifference when it comes to immigration. Because they just want basically the status quo. They just want to sound like they're doing something so they can try to pretend to get the Latins to vote for them and the blacks to vote for them and the Asians to vote for them and the gays to vote for them. But so far, all they've done is keep offending the same groups over and over and over again. And the drama gets tiring. It's boring. It's pathetic. It's not 9/11. And I don't think even if another 9/11 happened, I probably wouldn't even blink an eye. Because we've had chances to fix all this stuff. And we never do. We're still talking about the same things I remember my parents talking about in 1972. Same issues. They never go away. Nothing ever gets better. It never changes. We just keep kicking the can down the road. So keep kicking till I kick the bucket, which couldn't be soon enough. My God. Anyway, that's it for now. So enjoy your disasters and dramas, and if they really affect you, I'm sorry. And if you're offended that they don't affect me, I'm sorry, but they really don't. And I just wanted to say that if you're like me, and I know there are people out there, don't feel alone. You don't have to be all verklempt every time something happens, because I'm not at all. Sometimes I wish it would happen to me. A lot of times, actually. That'd be great. Somebody would have to pay off my life insurance. Talk to you later.